Right now, 81% of automotive dealerships plan to increase their AI budgets this year. Yet simultaneously, 74% worry about the accuracy of these systems, and 59% report a critical skills gap in their organizations. The leaders running these showroom floors are evaluating artificial intelligence against their experience with CRM rollouts and DMS transitions. They are applying a mental model built on software that evolved over years to a technology compounding in a matter of months. Progressive dealerships deploy specialized AI plugins for isolated problems, a chatbot for the BDC, pricing tools for sales, and content generators for marketing. These tools operate at maximum speed, but fail to share context. Inventory ignores marketing's demand signals. Purchasing standalone tools creates faster, isolated departments. It completely fails to build a smarter enterprise. This disconnect stems from a literacy gap. Awareness of AI is nearly universal across the industry, but the structural understanding of what the technology has actually become remains years behind the state of the art. When executives evaluate a new platform, their expectations are anchored to a 2023 mental model of artificial intelligence. In that baseline model, AI operates as a chatbot. It functions as a highly capable search engine or a fast content writer that waits for a prompt and generates text. That baseline is entirely obsolete. The state-of-the-art has moved through multiple generations in under 3 years. Surviving the trajectory from 2026 to 2030 requires abandoning the focus on tool adoption. Dealerships must shift their resources towards intelligence architecture. Continuing to invest millions of dollars with a 2023 mindset results in purchasing organizational chaos disguised as efficiency. To see exactly why the industry's mental model is broken, we have to map how the underlying technology shifted. The models released in 2023 were built on reactive AI. The system waits for a human to input a prompt, generates a single response, and immediately goes dormant. That architecture was replaced in 2025 with the arrival of Agentic AI. The first mechanic of an agentic system is continuous observation. It monitors live data streams across the organization without waiting for a human to ask a question. The system reasons about the data it observes. It identifies patterns and begins coordinating with other specialized agents across the network to assemble a strategy. Finally, the network autonomously recommends a multi-step action back to a human team member for review and authorization. Reactive AI is a tool you use to make a single employee faster. Agentic AI is a continuous operational layer that makes the entire organization smarter. Deploying reactive tools into a modern dealership triggers a hidden operational cost known as coordination debt. When specialized AI platforms operate in silos, human staff become the manual bridge between them, translating data from the BDC dashboard into the service scheduler. This cross-system reconciliation is largely invisible, but it consumes massive amounts of leadership bandwidth and thousands of hours of manual entry. This diagram illustrates Barry Hillier's intelligence pyramid. The dealership industry is currently trapped in stage 3, functional intelligence. A thick, impenetrable barrier prevents them from reaching cross-departmental coordination. Purchasing more departmental AI software simply expands stage 3 horizontally. The organization accumulates more isolated tools, but the intelligence cannot break upward into stage 4. An organization cannot purchase its way to cross-departmental intelligence. Crossing that barrier strictly requires foundational architectural change. Breaking the stage 3 ceiling requires a specific 3-layer intelligence architecture. The foundation is the unified data lake. Most dealer groups have their operational history scattered across 9 to 15 separate systems. The data lake centralizes the DMS, the CRM, and the OEM portals into a single scalable reservoir. Sitting directly on top of that reservoir is the middle layer, the knowledge hub. To function, the knowledge hub relies on a mechanical process called vectorization. Vectorization works by shattering raw text and spreadsheets into precise numerical coordinates. This allows a machine to physically map the conceptual relationships between distinct pieces of information. The result is semantic retrieval. When an employee asks a complex policy question, the system understands the underlying intent and pulls related context from multiple departments simultaneously, rather than simply hunting for exact keyword matches. The final tier is the agentic layer. Here, specialized agents network over that unified, vectorized knowledge base to identify patterns. The protocol governing this entire ecosystem is known as human-in-the-loop. The AI orchestrates the logic, but staff use an intuitive green, yellow, and red indicator system to review the workflows and authorize the final actions. This exact three-layer structure is already operating in the real world through platforms like Agentic. In a recent deployment, the architecture parsed over 22 million data cells across 300 rooftops. It immediately surfaced hidden mid-funnel revenue gaps and repeatable performance patterns that human managers could not physically isolate on their own. True enterprise architecture eliminates the manual data bridging that consumes staff time. It elevates humans away from basic data entry and repositions them as strategic decision-makers. We are currently in an architecture window that will define the trajectory of the industry from 2026 to 2030. Organizations that build this unified structure now begin to capture compounding organizational learning. This graph illustrates the effect. Curve A represents a dealership group that implements its architecture today. Every operational insight discovered by the service department immediately compounds, automatically informing the entire group's strategy. Compare that to the late adopters, the organizations that wait until 2028 to transition away from isolated tools. The late adopter starts at zero. They lack the 2 years of embedded insights, verified outcomes, and pattern recognition their competitors have already mapped into their data lake. This unbridgeable gap is competitive asymmetry. The penalty for waiting is a permanent structural deficit. Accumulated organizational intelligence cannot be bought off a shelf. It has to be built over time. Every decision made on the dealership floor today dictates exactly where an organization will sit on that curve by the end of the decade. The choice is binary. Build the unified architecture that allows intelligence to compound, or continue accumulating isolated software tools that multiply your coordination debt. Barry Hilliard defines this transition with a single axiom: literacy precedes leverage. You cannot effectively leverage what you do not accurately understand. Architecture precedes intelligence, and the window to build it is open right now.